Some objects, behaviors, or influences open spiritual doors to darkness, often without our conscious awareness. We live in a physical world, but we are also spiritual beings, and the two realms are more connected than most realize. Many times people unknowingly invite negativity, heaviness, confusion, and even demonic influence into their lives, simply by what they allow into their homes, their minds, and their hearts. Many people like to say things like, when we enjoy life together, it is fun and appreciated. The enemy rarely comes through the front door screaming. He comes through the back door, quiet and subtle, through objects that seem cool, through symbols that seem trendy, through entertainment that seems normal. What we embrace out of ignorance can enslave us in spirit. And it's time to wake up and recognize the truth. Not everything you own or tolerate is neutral. Some things are loaded with spiritual consequences. What you allow in your space affects your spirit. Whether it's music, artwork, movies, books, or trinkets passed down from questionable origins, everything carries a presence. The atmosphere of your life is shaped by what surrounds you. Some people are tormented at night and they don't know why. Some feel anxiety for no reason, heaviness in their chest, or frequent nightmares, and they think it's just stress or genetics. But in reality, some of that torment can be traced back to spiritual pollution. Your home is meant to be a place of peace, not a portal for chaos. When you allow unclean things into your sacred space, you give darkness a seat at your table. It doesn't just stay on the shelf. It affects your emotions, your relationships, and even your clarity of thought. Demonic influence isn't always dramatic like in horror movies. It's often subtle, sly, and deeply disruptive. You've got to guard your space like your peace depends on it, because it does. Music, media, and symbols rooted in evil can invite oppressive energy into your environment. Lyrics that glorify death, rage, sexual perversion, or rebellion are not just songs, they are declarations. Words have power. And when you sing along to destructive messages, you're not just vibing, you're agreeing. Movies that celebrate witchcraft, demon possession, or dark forces aren't entertainment, they're spiritual invitation. They desensitize your soul and slowly normalize the demonic until you no longer notice its presence. Symbols that have ties to the occult, like pentagrams, all-seeing eyes, or statues of false gods, are not art. They are doorways. And some doors, once opened, don't close easily. You cannot walk in the light while you dance in the dark. You cannot serve peace while entertaining chaos. Choose wisely what you play, what you watch, what you wear, and what you welcome, because all of it adds up, and all of it has a spirit behind it. Holding on to items linked to witchcraft, occult practices, or violent energy connects you to the spirit behind them. You might think a crystal, a tarot card deck, or a dream catcher is harmless or even helpful. But what's the source? If something has roots in divination, sorcery, or anything that tries to gain power apart from God, it is spiritually toxic. And when you keep these items, you're saying with your actions, I agree with this power. You might not mean it, but in the spiritual realm, intention isn't louder than permission. Some cultures and traditions have normalized objects that are spiritually dangerous, masking them as ancestral or sacred when in fact they carry generational bondage. Some people even keep items from ex-relationships, unaware that emotional and spiritual ties remain connected through them. Certain gifts, souvenirs, or even antiques can be cursed because of their history. Don't just look at what something is. Ask what it represents, where it came from, and who it once belonged to. Demonic oppression often begins with small compromises that feel harmless. The enemy doesn't start with possession. He starts with suggestion. It's just a song. It's just for fun. It's just decoration. The devil minimizes the impact so you'll allow the influence. And once you open the door, he builds a stronghold quietly, slowly, surely. You stop praying as much. You stop sleeping well. You feel irritated for no reason. You become emotionally unstable or spiritually dry. You think you're just tired or overwhelmed, but the truth is there's a spiritual parasite feeding off your peace. Darkness loves to hide in the areas of your life you refuse to examine. The compromise opens the door. Deception keeps it open. That's why spiritual discernment matters. You have to ask yourself, am I tolerating something that is tormenting me? That's a question many never ask, but it's a key to breakthrough. Just because culture celebrates it doesn't mean it's spiritually safe. Popular doesn't mean pure. Just because something is mainstream doesn't mean it's right in the eyes of God. In fact, much of what this world promotes is in direct opposition to heaven's truth. Look at how witchcraft is glamorized on TV. Look at how rebellion is praised in music. Look at how spiritual darkness is sold in fashion and entertainment like it's nothing. Culture is not your compass. Truth is. And truth doesn't shift based on trends. God doesn't change his standard because the world changes its taste. You can't serve two masters. You can't crave purity and keep pet demons around. You've got to choose who you're aligning with, because what you align with will either bless you or bind you. Cleaning your environment is a form of spiritual warfare and protection. When you remove what's dark, you invite what's divine. That act of cleaning out your home, your playlists, your wardrobe, your bookshelves, that's not just physical, it's prophetic. It says, no more, not in my house, not in my life. The same way you detox your body from unhealthy food, you need to detox your soul from unclean influences. Go room by room if you have to. Ask God to show you what doesn't belong. Don't be surprised if your spirit feels lighter the moment you throw it out. Some things carry weight, and the moment you release them, your atmosphere shifts. Angels move where darkness is removed. Freedom comes when you take the trash out, spiritually and physically. You don't need to overthink it. If something makes your spirit feel uneasy, get rid of it. Peace is too expensive to sacrifice for a possession that invites torment. God's presence dwells in purity. When you remove darkness, you make room for divine light. God won't dwell where idols are worshipped. He won't share space with spirits of confusion, lust, fear, or anger. If you've been praying for peace, for clarity, for breakthrough, but haven't seen it, check your environment. Are you unknowingly hosting the very thing you're asking God to deliver you from? God is holy. His power flows where there's surrender. That means not just surrendering behavior, but surrendering belongings. You can't expect God's favor to fall on a life that's cluttered with spiritual junk. Clean the space, and you'll feel His presence like never before. Sometimes peace doesn't come from praying harder, but from removing the thing that's been blocking it. This is not about superstition. It's about spiritual sensitivity and discernment. People may laugh or mock or call you extra, but they won't be laughing when they see the glow of peace on your life. Discernment isn't paranoia, it's protection. The Holy Spirit doesn't give you random feelings, He gives you warnings. When something feels off, it usually is. When your heart feels heavy around certain things or people, take it seriously. The spiritual realm is real. Demons are real. And so is the authority God gave you to overcome them. But you can't fight what you've been flirting with. You can't rebuke what you're secretly attracted to. You've got to cut ties completely, even if you're emotionally attached to the object or idea. You've got to want your freedom more than your fashion, your peace more than popularity, your healing more than your habit. This is war, and your soul is the battlefield. Letting go of these items is the beginning of healing, peace, and restoration. When you clean your life of spiritual toxins, you don't just get rid of demons. You make room for destiny. When you say goodbye to darkness, you say yes to God's light. Some of you are one act of obedience away from your next level. One decision away from total peace. Don't delay your deliverance. Don't stay stuck out of sentiment. If God says remove it, trust Him. He sees what you can. He knows what it's connected to. And when you obey, you will feel chains you didn't even know you had begin to break. Peace will flood in. Joy will return. Sleep will come easier. That constant tension will lift. Why? Because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. But freedom starts with decision. And the time to decide is now. What you allow in your space affects your spirit, both negatively and positively. Your space is more than just walls, furniture, and decorations. It's a reflection of your inner world, and it has spiritual consequences that many overlook. When you allow certain things into your home, whether it's music, books, movies, objects, or even certain people, you're not just opening your front door, you're opening the door of your spirit. Everything you bring in carries an atmosphere. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but your spirit feels it. that heaviness you can't explain, that anxiety that creeps in when you're alone, that sudden change in your mood or energy after a particular song or show, it's not just coincidence. Sometimes it's spiritual. Your space is either a sanctuary or a stronghold, and the difference depends on what you allow in it. Some people unknowingly live in environments that are spiritually contaminated because they've tolerated the wrong things for too long.